Ladies and gentlemen, from the Universal Church of Freedom, Peace and Justice, Deacon Gerald Celente.
Hello, this is Deacon Celente of the Universal Church of Freedom, Peace and Justice. Yes, 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 freedom, peace, justice. That's what we believe in. That is our religion. Our religion is that you are free to be who you want to be. Peace on earth, goodwill to all, and justice, fairness. Not a slap on the wrist for those with the most amount of money and the contacts into government. And we, the people, being served with the harshest penalties possible. Freedom, peace, and justice. And 2 weeks from Saturday, July 23rd, Kingston, New York, on the Four Corners of Freedom, where the seeds of democracy was sown, John and Crown Street, the most historic Four Corners in America, the only place with pre-Revolutionary War stone buildings on each corner. Freedom, peace, and justice. Not prosecution to the fullest for us. Justice for all. Peace. That's right. Stop these crazy wars that are destroying humanity and life on earth. From the COVID war recently to now the Ukraine war. And freedom, again, to be who you want to be. No one should tell you who you are, and what you want to be. To believe in what you want to believe in, as long as it's noble in terms of what would your God say. And on the peace front, there's no talk about it at all. This past Thursday, President Volodymyr Zelensky of the Ukraine told CNN's commentator, Wolf Blitzer, that Ukraine is unwilling to cede any of its land to Russia. Russia, again, before the war started, and we're totally against the invasion, had a deal they wanted to make. That area, the Donbas region, that the Russian people separated from after the United States overthrew the government in 2014. That was to abide by the Minsk Agreement that was put together by France and Germany. And Ukraine refused to do that. Number two, Ukraine has killed over 15,000 people in that area since 2014. And the bombs away just kept falling. None of these agreements were reached upon. And Russia said no, it would not cede and give back Crimea, which had a vote when the revolution happened in 2014, in which 96% of the Crimeans voted to go on Russia's side rather than Ukraine's side. And no, Russia did not invade Crimea, as they tell us. Their ports have been there for centuries. They didn't invade it. So Zelensky said, quote, Ukrainians are not ready to give away their land, to accept that these territories belong to Russia. This is our land. And of course, that's disputed. This has been a conflict going on between them for hundreds of years. We always talk about that, and we are intending to prove it, he said. And then they go on to say that Russia's war with Ukraine has lasted for more than 4 months. 4 months. The United States invaded and occupied much of Afghanistan for 20 years. The United States invaded, destroyed, killed over 3 million people in Vietnam for over 10 years. The United States invaded and killed over 1 million Iraqis with their 2 Iraq wars, one launched by Bush Sr. and one launched by Bush Jr. The last war went from 2003 to 2011, and then the fake Nobel Peace Prize winner, Barack Obama, ramped it up again after it ended in 2011 at 2014. The Libyan War, that Barack Obama, Samantha Power, Susan Rice, Hillary Clinton launched, along with Sarkozy of France and Cameron of Libya, of the UK, the Libyan War, has gone on since 2011. And it's a hellhole now. Once the richest country in Africa, where people had more rights and benefits than most places around the world. Zelensky said, the United States are helping Ukraine, helping a lot, but it's not enough in order to win. I hope my trust will speed to this help to Ukraine. We want to increment this help. We're fighting for our land. We don't want people from different countries fight for our territory, but the U.S. are a world economy and can help us with both arms and finances. More deadly weapons he wants from we the people, and wants to take more of our money. Of some $57 billion has been taken from us already. Yet, there is very little, if no blowback at all, in America for this. This must stop, and we are doing everything we can to stop it. And we need you, not to help us, but to do your part for who you are and what you want to be. You're not helping us. You're helping yourself by supporting the Universal Church of Freedom, Peace, and Justice. Unless you want them to keep stealing your money and giving it to the military-industrial complex to keep killing more people and destroy more beauty on earth. We need you here if we want to move forward with the beginning of the greatest peace movement that this century has ever seen or will see. Because if we don't stop this, this is the beginning to the end of life on earth. World War III has begun. They're not going to make it official until they drop a nuclear weapon. A nuclear war between world powers would trigger, quote, a little ice age, end quote, that will last for thousands of years, according to a new study by researchers from Louisiana State University. All right? You need more proof? We have lunatics running and ruining our lives. These are evil, demonic people that keep calling for war and no peace. We're calling for peace and we're fighting for peace. We are warriors for the Prince of Peace. And again, whoever your God is, you are free to believe. Freedom. Following Zelensky's speech, President Vladimir Putin of Russia said, the tragedy for the Ukrainian people, but it looks like it's heading in that direction. everybody should know that, largely speaking, we haven't even yet started anything. And he said, the West wants to fight us until the last Ukrainian. And that is the tragedy of the Ukrainian people. He went on to say, they simply don't need a country as Russia, according to what the West believes. This is why they have used terrorism, separatism, and internal destructive forces in our country. The course of history is unstoppable, and attempts by collective West to enforce its version of global order are doomed to fail. And he's calling for meetings, but saying that Ukraine does not want them. And that seems to have been confirmed. On Friday, on antiwar.com, Blinken won't meet with Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov at G20 summit in Indonesia. According to The Hill, the State Department spokesman Ned Price said that the time is not right for bilateral engagement with Russia because of the war in Ukraine. And the U.S. has abandoned diplomacy with Russia since Russian President Vladimir Putin launched his invasion of Ukraine on 24 February. U.S. Secretary of State Blinken hasn't spoken with Lavrov, the Russian foreign minister, since February 15th, and President Biden hasn't shown any interest in holding talks with Putin. Blinken canceled his planned meeting with Lavrov on February 22nd, after Russia recognized the independence of the Donbas republics. Russia has said it is open to holding armed controls talks with the United States, as only one nuclear arms treaty remains between the two powers, but the Biden administration has shown no interest in pursuing any negotiations. So there you have it. We are doing everything we can to bring peace on earth, goodwill to all. And you must do your part in it, or do nothing. Do nothing. Sit back and hope. Remember hope and change you could believe in? That came from the mouth of the man who lied about him being a peace candidate gave us the Afghan insurgents, adding another 33,000 troops to the deadly, bloody killing fields of Afghan. The man who kept the Iraq war going after it ended, the man who said Assad, the president of Syria, has to go, and so some almost 700,000 Syrians have died since. The man who said Gaddafi has to go. Hope? Oh, in Libya, that's right. Hope and change you could believe in. Hope and change. No change. Hope is the most negative word in the metaphysical dictionary. It means wanting something to happen without you doing nothing. Hope. Yeah, you can hope for nicer weather. It's up to you to make it happen. We're doing everything we can. United we stand, divided we die. And the death march is increasing. Libya protesters storm Parliament building. Oh, yeah. That was this week, too. The candidate to lead Israel's military wants to ramp up assassination of Iranians. This is according to antiwar.com. IDF Major General Eyal Samir made the case in a 74-page paper for the Washington Institute for Near East Policy. Oh, what is that? Oh, they call it a think tank. How about a stink tank? A pro-Israeli American think tank. How about pro-peace? He said the assassinations were necessary to stop Iran from further entrenching itself in Syria. They're not entrenching itself. They were invited by the Syrian government, as was Russia. But yet, Israel bombs and kills people in Syria going on and on. They admit it. And that's okay. Can you see where we're going? World War III has begun. Two weeks from now, on the four corners of freedom, John and Crown Street in Kingston, New York, our freedom, peace, and justice rally, just for you. Please be there. Judge Napolitano, Scott Ritter, myself, Gary Null, the Hot Damn Band, music, entertainment, it's free. Come. There's vendors, you buy what you want. Food. It's free because we're fighting for freedom. And do what you can to support the Universal Church of Freedom, Peace, and Justice. Of course, you go to freedompeacejustice.com. And spread the word. Please be here. We have to make the news with this. We have to make the news that we're for peace as the rest of the media and most of the politicians keep selling war. Thank you. And we'll see you in 2 weeks at the rally, but we'll see you next week right here. Bye-bye.